This is the last time you will see this beard. But that's not how I'm gonna start this video. I'm gonna start this video by saying I was wrong, and I've been wrong all season. I haven't been this wrong about a team in a long time, but I was very, very, very wrong about this team. Why was I wrong about this team? Because I truly believed this team was going to go back to the Super Bowl. I didn't know if they were definitely going to win it, but I thought at the very, very least, I truly believed this, that they were going to the NFC Championship game. There was no part of me that was worried that there was going to be an early playoff exit, or that our flaws were so bad. I knew we had tons of flaws, but no part of me thought our flaws were so bad that it would end like this. And I was wrong. I was fully wrong. I called last year. I think it was after the loss to the Falcons. I called our Super Bowl run last year. It was that game, I think it was against the Falcons, Kirk Cousins, when Saquon dropped that pass near the red zone, and we ended up losing the game. Like, he could have caught the ball and got the first down and we could have won, or he could have gotten the end zone. I forget what game that was. I'm pretty sure it was the Falcons. But I called our Super Bowl run right after that, and I keep it at the top of my IG page because it was during a podcast. And since that time, early last year, I've been riding that fucking success. I call that shit I don't call that every year. I think that might have been the first time ever that I called the Eagles like that I was like, this team's going to the Super Bowl. Like, and said it that confidently, because I only started doing sports podcasts a couple years ago. So that was the first time I made a prediction like that, and it came out that correct, and I just rode the fuck out of it. I just rode it. And this season, I felt the same way about this team. Like, I saw their mistakes, and I felt the exact same way as I did last year. I was like, yeah, I see our troubles, but I don't think that's gonna get in our way of winning a Super Bowl. I think it's the heat is gonna turn up as the season goes, and we're just gonna hit this form that just becomes so unstoppable. I was fucking wrong. I was very fucking wrong. I've been spending the past 2 weeks, 10 days, whatever, arguing with so many people online and in person, friends of mine in person, over the phone. We were arguing about the Eagles' success and how the Eagles were going to play and the decisions the Eagles were making. And man, I disagreed with so many people, and I saw so many people giving up already. And I didn't feel that poorly about the team at that moment. Like, at those moments, I expended so much energy arguing with people and trying to get them to see my point of view, get them to feel how I felt, and trying to push people away that I thought were just being way too fucking negative. But some of them were really right. Some of the people I was arguing with, I look back at some of those arguments, and some of those people had legitimate points, and I was incorrect. And then other people were just throwing shit at the wall and really had no point. But I mean, I'm in no room to disagree with anyone right now and to tell people that they're wrong and I'm right. Since we've lost that game, I haven't argued with anyone. And anyone I said I was going to cash in receipts at the end of this year. I said I was going to bring up my receipts for whoever was talking trash all year. And so it's only fair that people have brought receipts to me. Tons of people have fucking commented, sent me messages. Friends of mine from opposing teams have called me and have said, yeah, what now? What about this you said? What about this prediction you made? It was all bullshit, and you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And guess what? Those people have every right to say that. Those people have every right. I hope that's not a bad omen. No. all the bad luck has fallen upon us. But that is within their right to call me up and say to me, you were wrong, because that's exactly what I would have done to them. Exactly. If the Eagles would have won, I would have gloated so hard over everyone. Like, I would have went on the biggest parade. I was about to go on the, maybe that's why God stopped me, because he's like, I know the parade you're about to go on. If the Eagles would have won this game, or not this game, but if the Eagles would have went back to the Super Bowl, I would have went on such a fucking crazy parade, telling everybody, cashing in all the receipts, telling everybody about how wrong they've been, and just showing them that they don't know shit. And so it's only right for people to hit me with that same energy. I went 3 on God, I can't get this to stand up. I mean, barely anybody watches these videos, so I'm not really sweating about it. And if you're one of my 40 watchers, I think you'll understand. You're not really here for the signs, you're here for me. I'm trying to figure this background out. I'm not gonna have this. We're about to just say fuck this. I'm not gonna have this space next season. So I've always been trying to figure out what I'm gonna do about the background, and didn't end up finding something good this season. But I'm probably not gonna have this space next year. It's only right though. It's only right for people to tell me I'm wrong, and my predictions were not great this year. My playoff predictions last year were excellent, and I went 3-3 the first round. I'm not even gonna do any more playoff predictions. I don't even care. I tried to watch the chart. I said the Chargers were gonna come out of the AFC in the playoffs. I mean, they lost first round. The two teams I predicted to go to the Super Bowl lost in the first round. So I don't know shit this year. I don't know shit. Last year I was money. Last year I was spot on. And this year I don't know shit. And you have to accept that and take your losses. The one thing I do think is weird though is there have been a number of Eagles fans to cash me in on my receipts. Listen, I'm fair game right now. I've been wrong about everything this year. So I'm fair game. You can come cash your receipts. Like I said I was gonna do. Come cash your receipts. But I've been really surprised at the number of Eagles fans who have like come to me to cash receipts, like, you've been wrong about this, you've been wrong about that, and are like, seem to be like excited over the fact that we lost and they were right. And so, I mean, hey, I'm in no place, position, or mood to debate with anybody right now, but that is kind of strange. It's a little strange to me, the number of Eagles fans that have been so excited about me being wrong. I said I thought this team was bound to go to the Super Bowl. Why would you be excited that I was wrong about that? You could call me a dumbass. You can say, hey, idiot, like, I can't believe I listened to you say this nonsense. Like those are appropriate things to say to a fellow fan. But, like, acting like you're Cam Newton and, like, gleeful that we lost. It's just a little weird, you know? I think people are gleeful that Petulo's going to get out of here, though. I think that's where a lot of people's glee is coming from, because it does seem like that's just like the one thing holding us back. I will say on Cam Newton real quickly, I'm trying to hold off. I'm not talking trash to this episode, but I didn't get. He was like, he took the position of like, see, I told you so, Eagles fans. But his thing was with Hurts the whole season. His thing was like that Hurts was limiting the offense. This game didn't really, I think Hurts was one of the few people that I don't have criticisms for this game. Tell me if I'm wrong, Eagles fans. But I don't really have much criticism for Hurts, besides the fact that they just weren't throwing the ball deep enough. But that's been our criticism all season because of play calling. I just watched the highlights. Nobody was open a lot of those big plays down the field. So he was dinking and dunking, but as I've been saying all season, that's what's been open for him. That's what's available. He checks his read and then he checks down. And Brady said it on the telecast. He was checking down a little early sometimes. That's a legitimate criticism. Wasn't holding the ball long enough, maybe checking down a little too much. That was about. But this was not a game for Cam Newton to be like, see, I told you, because this wasn't a Jalen Hurts thing. This was all Petula. All Petula. And last thing I'm gonna say, because I just mentioned Brady before I jump to Petula, was the Brady thing. That I like Brady as an announcer, just because if you're gonna listen to anyone talk football, I mean, Tom Brady is Tom Brady. But Hurts got hit with that penalty, that roughing the, no, it wasn't roughing the passer, it was helmet to helmet when he slid for the first down. After the first down, the 49ers defender ran into him after he was sliding and went helmet to helmet. Now, this really shocked me that Brady was like, oh, I roll my eyes at those penalties. But Brady would get the softest calls out of any quarterback in history. So, like, I mean, come on, Brady. I mean, come on, give me a break. And the rule clearly is that if the quarterback starts his slide at all, if there's any start to the slide, that you cannot you cannot go in and hit his head area at all. I don't care if it's an accident. I don't care if you had trouble letting up. That's the rule. That's always been the rule. Always been the rule. That if the quarterback starts his slide, and that's why they have the slide. Because if you initiate the slide, you don't treat it like he's diving for the first down. A slide means you lay off the player. But Jalen initiated his slide, and as he was down, way after he initiated the slide, the dude ran right into his head. Now, it wasn't blatant. It didn't look intentional, but that's a clear penalty. And I was shocked, so shocked to hear Brady like, oh yeah, I roll my eyes at those plays. And then later, there's like a real ticky-tack pass interference call on the Eagles, and he's like, oh yeah, that's a penalty. That's a penalty. You don't roll your eyes at that, Brady? I mean, come on. I mean, this isn't the episode for trash talk, but Brady, man, come on. I like you as a broadcaster a lot, though. I mean, I hope they keep you, but that was bad. That was bad, Brady. You can tell, though, he gets a little caught up in the moments. Like, he's not perfect yet. He needs some time to get a little more comfortable as an announcer. You can tell he gets a little nervous sometimes. But, I mean, come on, Brady. That was poor announcing. I mean, you could say that was a bad call, but to say to the point, I roll my eyes at that, I mean, you've got the softest calls in the history of the game, and that was a clear penalty. So, Eagles had so many penalties during this game, and it seemed like the 49ers had none. They had, one penalty, maybe two? And you can't blame shit on the refs, but I mean, my God, that was a poorly officiated game. I mean, every play that we seemed like we were getting some momentum, we get like a first down and it's like 2nd and 20, 1st and 20. It was like there were two huge moments in the game where that happened, and it's just like, I was saying to myself, like, yeah, I'm convinced NFL's rigged. I'm convinced. But every fan has those thoughts when the game plays out and they're losing. So you can't be a sore loser. But if the NFL were to rig games, that would be the way to do it. It wouldn't be like real obvious shit. It would be like anytime a team is gaining momentum, you kind of push them back. You keep making them have like 1st and 20s, 2nd and 20s. This is just impossible to overcome over and over again, especially with this offense. Perfect segue to Petula, because if you go back and watch my videos, I said after week one, I don't like this offensive coordinator. I don't like him. But at the same time, I said I didn't like Kellen Moore the previous year. The thing that I thought hid Kellen Moore's flaws was the fact that Saquon had one of the most insane years we've ever seen. Saquon was so good last year that it hid a lot of Kellen Moore's flaws. So when I started to see Patullo's flaws, I was like, yeah, I don't love this guy, but we can overcome this. We can overcome this. And as the season progressed and it wasn't getting that much better, I stuck with the mindset of we have to ride with this guy, because we saw what happened when we try to change coordinators in the middle of the season. Now, granted, it was defensive coordinators, but that's where my thought process was. It was like we tried this before. We tried to get rid of coordinators in the middle of the season, and it went horribly. Things got worse. So unless we go on some 5-game losing streak, I didn't think it was a good idea to fire Patullo. And towards the end of the season, the last couple games, I thought it was very minor, but I thought there was some kind of improvement. And then it was the very last game of the season, he regressed to his old self. So my thinking was he was bad, but not bad enough to keep us from a Super Bowl. And I thought he would improve. I thought I did see some improvements at some point. But man, now that the season's over and we can look back at all of it and lay it out, he didn't improve one bit through the entire season. He had ups. He had some ups, but he always just leveled out to this very lame play caller that seemed to not know the playbook, because that's the only excuse I could think of for the way he called the game. Because it doesn't make sense to have some of these third downs going for 4, 5, 6 yards. That's just been our biggest issue all year. It's just we get into these third downs and we're not even having our receivers go past the first down marker. And it was I just saw it over and over again in this last game, where he doesn't go more than 10 yards down the field. And I just don't understand how you could be an offensive coordinator in the NFL and think that way. How do you get to that point where you're calling plays in the NFL and you have that kind of philosophy? I'm just going to take the shortest yards available every play, and we'll throw it down the field maybe 3 times a game, but for the most part, just 3 yards, 3 yards, 3 yards. And I'm not an expert on run play design, but whatever he was cooking up for Saquon sucked. It sucked. Because, you saw just the missed blocks, and I put that up to him. I put that on him because it's happened so many times this season that I think that there's just confusion on some of these fucking plays he's running. The missed blocks that happen over again, the running to the strongest areas of the opposing team's defense. If the team's biggest strength is stopping runs in the A-gap, he's going right to the A-gap. Not running enough runs out of the shotgun formation as opposed to under center. What I'm trying to say in better words is every time we line up in the center, it's pretty clear we're running the ball. It's clear. So I don't know how you can succeed that way in the NFL if a team knows when you're going to run every time. Not throwing the ball under center enough is what I meant to say. Not utilizing AJ even more. And listen, I know people are very mad at AJ Brown for this game, but the only real pass that he dropped that I'm mad about was the third and 5 at the end of the game, and we ended up getting that first down anyway. That was a clear drop. Those other two, those were tough catches. The thing I don't get with AJ though is everyone's pissed at him, but he was pissed about the play calling all year. I mean, I think he was more mad about the play calling than mad about getting targets. He was mad about what we were mad about. So I don't get why everyone's so pissed now. Like, oh, AJ, you shouldn't have wanted the ball. I mean, maybe he was just upset about the play calling, how bad the play calling was. So I don't get why people are now turning on him. He did have a bad game, but there was no question he wasn't being utilized enough during the season. So how are you going to get mad at him for saying, hey, you're not being utilized, for him speaking out about not being utilized enough? Why would we get mad at him for that when it was true? And we were all saying the same shit. And you know, that, not to make excuses for him because he needs to be catching those balls regardless, but I bet you if he was used more during the season, used more during that game, he gets more reps, he's more heated up, he's less likely to have drops. I think those drops come from being cold, and not cold physically, cold in terms of just not catching the ball enough and not getting enough practice in game time. And I think the wind was a factor as well because there were a lot of drops, but not a factor enough. Not a factor enough to excuse those, but I'm not mad at him to the point where I want him off the team. I mean, that's just crazy. I want to come back to the same squad minus Patullo. Draft who we get to draft. Let Howie do his thing in free agency, but Patullo is not coming back. There's no way. He didn't learn one thing the whole year. He didn't get better. The whole year. It's just too frustrating to watch. Just can't execute on third down. Can't figure out good run plays for Saquon. Can't figure out that Tank Bigsby's killing it and like give him more touches. Like the entire year had that opportunity to give Tank the ball, and then Tank gets in a game and is the one thing that's like working on our offense, is absolutely killing it, and you don't even give him the ball anymore. I mean, it's not throwing the ball down the field, and I'm just, you look at some of these plays he's calling, and the guys just aren't open. I mean, guys just aren't open. It's like he doesn't know the playbook. That's what it feels like. He just doesn't know it well enough. I mean, he might know it if you sat down and gave him a test, and he might be able to give you the playbook in that scenario, but he doesn't get it. Okay, it's 3rd and 4 now. We need your best play in 10 seconds. You have really 5 seconds to give us your best play. I don't think he's that kind of guy. So we need to move on from Patullo, and we need a seasoned offensive coordinator, someone with some experience, someone who's been there before. I'm not going to argue with fans right now, but people are still bringing up Brian Dable and Stefanski. I don't want either of those guys because they're losers. They're not winners. And people bring up Vic Fangio as a head coach and that he was able to be better. It's not the same. It's not the same. Vic Fangio was a genius defensive mind always. And even on those bad teams, his defense looked not as bad as these offensive looked for these so-called geniuses. Because they're not. Stefanski and fucking Brian Dable, they're not geniuses of any kind. Vic Fangio was always a defensive genius. So those comparisons are not. I don't have time for that. But I'm not arguing this offseason. People want to. I'm taking the offseason off from arguing. I'm gonna listen to Eagles fans. I'm gonna listen to everyone else. I've trashed a lot of the sports media in this city, and I will continue to not listen to them, but I'm not going to waste my energy trashing them, because a lot of them just want the Eagles to do bad. A lot of them are like more active than ever before. I mean, listen to some of these shows now compared to when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, when they had nothing to say, and now they're like more energetic than ever. I just don't get it. I'm not going to waste my time and energy on it, but it makes no sense. It makes no sense to me, some of these people. Other than that, defensively, you know, Quinion got cooked on that first drive. I've never seen that before. He got cooked like 2 plays in a row, let up that first touchdown, but then made up for it with those 2 picks. But the secondary, besides that, secondary didn't play great. We let up over 100 yards to a no-name receiver. I have to even look his name up again. I don't even know who the fuck he was. Just someone who should not be putting up over 100 yards in a playoff game against you. And also, we lost McCaffrey on like the biggest plays of the game. We were like losing McCaffrey on like those last 2 touchdowns. We completely lost sight of him. One time it was Blankenship's fault, and the other time, was it Nakobe Dean? It was, I think maybe Nakobe Dean just wasn't fast enough. They had all their stars hurt. You need to mirror that guy. You need to just put all your focus on that guy. I don't know how you lose their best player when all their good players are hurt. Like, put 2 people on McCaffrey. I don't know. I don't know how you lose him. But at the end of the day, we had everything we wanted. We had the 2-minute drill set up for us to go take the game and win it. And all the good teams from this weekend were put in that position and took advantage of it and won. The teams that had the ball at the end of the game with their 2-minute drill set up, they executed and they won. We did not. So we didn't deserve to win the Super Bowl. It just wasn't our year, sadly enough. I felt that it really, I feel like this was a wasted talent year, because the NFL was pretty open, and we were a lot better than how we played this year. So fortunately, we're young as fuck, and we have nothing but time to get better. Keep this squad together, except for Patullo. Try not to take it out on the players. We know what it was. The play calling this year was so bad. It was just so bad. And I mean, I knew it was bad from the first week. I wasn't going to dwell on it all year, because I didn't see how that was going to make things better. We still have a great squad. Don't forget it. Don't let this time period make you think anything otherwise. I hate this that we lost, but this is what sports are. Somebody's gonna win and somebody's gonna lose. It's what makes winning even sweeter. And I know Eagles fans are gonna be having a lot of fun, freaking out until Patullo gets fired, and then after that, freaking out about the draft. Hopefully he gets fired before the draft. I mean, my God. And then we'll freak out about the draft, and then we'll start to size up the off season or next season, and it never ends, man. Football is football; it never goes away. So I'm gonna keep making these episodes, and God, this sucks to be ending the season at this stage this early. But you know, last year was the best. That Super Bowl win was the best night of my life. This loss was not the worst night of my life. So it sucks, but it's not as bad as the win was good, if that makes any sense. This was my longest episode so far, coming after a loss. And this space, probably only have this space for another month, so another few episodes, and then we're gonna get creative with where we're gonna do the episodes. So I don't know, Eagles fans, just try not to lose faith, and whoever wants to talk shit on me, you've deserved your right. If you've listened, I appreciate you. So if you know where I've been wrong, I appreciate you enough to listen to you talk shit on me. So whoever has something bad to say about my predictions or what I've said this year, I deserve it. I've been getting it since the moment we lost. People have been going into like the shit I said like a month ago. People have made cash and receipts. It's kind of funny, but it is what it is, man. I'm open for it. I'm fully open for business. So take your shots. Still go Birds, man. Still go Birds. I think we got it next year. I'm not saying we got it as in a Super Bowl. I think we got it as in we're gonna bounce back. I'm taking it day by day next year. I'm not gonna make any grand predictions. I rode that for a while. Now I'm not gonna make any predictions about the Eagles winning the Super Bowl next year. Next year we're just gonna take it game by game. So we learn as we go. And yeah, I'll be back with another episode next week. Still the shit, same shit, man, same shit. I'm not really watching the playoffs with the same intensity, but I'm gonna watch. Go Birds.